want to take a little break from the notes, so you don't need to write this part down. I just want to show you something, a little exploration. So let's say we have two complex numbers, z1 and z2, and they're both written in trig form. So we just talked about trig form is r cosine theta plus I sine theta. And we've got two different ones, so I labeled them r1 and cosine theta 1. And the other one's going to be r2 times cosine theta 2 plus I sine theta 2. Okay, so our goal is we want to multiply z1 times z2. So we're just taking the trig form of z1 and the trig form of z2, and we're going to multiply them. And what I've done is I've rearranged it. I just pulled the r's so they're next to each other, and then I've got the cosine theta, sine theta, so they're next to each other. So my next step in all of this is I'm going to FOIL it out, which I know looks super fun. You don't need to do this. But when you FOIL it out, we get cosine theta 1, cosine theta 2, plus I sine theta 2, cosine theta 1, plus I sine theta 1, cosine theta 2, plus I squared sine theta 1, sine theta 2. Okay, so that was one big FOIL problem. All right, now we're going to rearrange some stuff. So leave those r's alone. So I've still got this cosine theta 1 plus cosine theta 1, cosine theta 2. That was this part. And then over here, I squared is -1. So I'm going to say minus sine theta 1, sine theta 2. And then these middle two terms, they both have an I. So I'm going to put those together, but I'm going to factor out the I. So I sine theta 2, cosine theta 1, plus sine theta 1, cosine theta 2. And then I'll turn that into a bracket there. Okay, so basically I've put the stuff with the I's together and the stuff without the I's together. All right, next step. Just leave those r's alone. I want you to take a look at this thing right here. Cosine theta 1, cosine theta 2, minus sine theta 1, sine theta 2. That should maybe look a little familiar. Do you remember all of those formulas we had on your formula sheet? This was one of our sum and difference formulas, actually, for cosine. So this one was the cosine of theta 1 plus theta 2. Okay. And then we have its I, and now we're going to look at this guy. Sine theta 2, cosine theta 1, sine theta 1, cosine theta 2. Again, hopefully that looks a little bit familiar. That's actually the sum formula for sine. So this is sine of theta 1 plus theta 2. So what we've just seen is that, remember we were multiplying two complex numbers. What we did is we multiplied the r's right here, and then we added the thetas here and here. We just added the thetas. So when you want to multiply two complex numbers, you don't have to go through all these steps. That would be ridiculous. You need to multiply the r's and add the thetas. And that's it. That's a shortcut for multiplying complex numbers. There's also a division shortcut. I'm not going to walk you all the way through it. Instead of multiplying the r's, you divide the r's. Instead of adding the thetas, you subtract them. So in the next video, we'll jump back into the notes and actually show you how these works. This is easy, okay? Don't let all of this scare you.